6, 8 and 9. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Nam vidyate yasya cha janma karmana.
Na vidyate yasya cha janma karmava.
Nama rupe gunadosha evada.
Na nama rupe gunadosha evava.
Tatapi lokapyaya sampavaya.
Tathapi lokapyaya sambhavaya.
Swamaya tanyanukulam nichati.
Swamaya tanyanukalam richati.
Anukalam. Tasmai namah pareshaya.
Tasmai namah parishaya.
Brahmane nanta shaktaye.
Brahmane nanta shaktaye.
Arupayo rupaya.
Arupayo rupaya.
Namascharya karmane.
Namahashcharya karmane.
Please chant.
न विद्यते यस्य च जन्म कर्म वा न नाम रूपे तथापि लोकाभय संभवाय स्वमाया
Tasmai Nama Parishaya.
तस्मै नमः
Pareshaya.
Brahmane Nanta Shakti.
ब्रह्मणे
Nanta shaktaye.
Arupaya Rupaya.
अरूपाय
Rupaya.
Ascharya Karmane.
नामश्च
Na vidyate yasya cha karma, na vidyate yasya cha janma karma va.
न
Na nama rupe guna dosha eva va. Tapi lokapyaya sambhavaya ya.
तथापि
Somaya ya tanya kulam richati.
स्वमाया
Tasmai nama pareshaya.
तस्मै
Brahmane nanta shaktaye.
ब्रह्मणे
Payo rupaya.
अरूपायो
Ascharya karmane.
Regents, devotees.
Na vidyate yasya cha janma karmava.
Na vidyate yasya cha janma karmava.
Nama shrupi dosha evava.
Na nama rupe gunadosha evava.
Kapya sambhavaya.
Tathapi lokapya sambhavaya.
Anukalam rishati.
Swamaya tanyanukalam richati.
Tasmai namah pareshaya.
Tasmai namah parishaya.
Brahmane nanta shaktaye.
Brahmane nanta shaktaye.
Arupayo rupaya.
Arupayo rupaya.
Namacharya karmane.
Namahashcharya karmane.
No.
No.
Vidyate.
Vidyate.
There is.
Yasya.
Of whom?
Of whom?
The Supreme Personality of God.
The Supreme Personality of God.
Cha,
also,
also, Janma,
Janma,
birth,
birth,
Karma,
karma,
activities,
activities,
Va,
va,
or,
or,
Na,
na,
nor,
no,
Namarupe,
Namarupe,
any material name or material form,
any material name or material form,
Guna,
guna,
qualities,
qualities,
Doshaha,
dosha,
fault,
fault,
Eva,
eva,
certain,
certain,
Va,
va,
either,
either,
Athapi,
Athapi,
still,
still,
Loka,
loka,
or this cosmic manifestation,
of this cosmic manifestation,
Apyaya,
Apyaya,
wisdom destruction,
with the destruction,
Sambhavaya,
Samsavaya,
and creation,
and creation,
Yaha,
Yaha,
he who,
here,
Svamayaya,
Maya,
by his own potency,
by his own potency,
Dani,
Ani,
activities,
activities,
Anukalam,
Anakalam,
eternal,
eternal,
Richati,
Richati,
sense,
substance,
Tasmai,
Tasma,
unto him,
unto him,
Namaha,
Namaha,
I offer my obeisance,
I offer my obeisance,
Para,
Para,
transcendental,
transcendental,
Ishaya,
Ishaya,
who is the supreme controller,
who is the supreme controller,
Brahmane,
Brahmane,
who is the supreme Brahman,
who is the supreme Brahman,
Parabrahman,
Parabrahman,
Ananta Shartaye,
Ananta Shakti,
with unlimited potency,
with unlimited potency,
Arupaya,
Arupaya,
possessing no material form,
possessing no material form,
Gurupaya,
Gurupaya,
possessing various forms as incarnations.
possessing various forms of incarnations.
Namaha,
Namaha,
I offer my obeisance.
Namaha,
Ashtarya Karmane,
Ashtarya,
whose activities are wonderful.
whose activities are wonderful.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, or faults. To fulfill the purpose for this material world is
For which,
to fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed. He comes in the form of a human being like Lord Rama or Lord Krishna by his original internal potency. He has immense potency and in various forms, all free from material contamination. He acts wonderfully. He is therefore the Supreme Brahman. I offer my respects to him. Purport. In the Vishnu Purana it is said, Gunam Shadoshams Chamune Vyatita Samasta Kalyana Gunatmako Hi. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material form, qualities, or faults. He is spiritual and is the only reservoir of all spiritual qualities. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.8 by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkitam. The Lord's activities of saving the devotees and annihilating the demons are transcendental. Anyone annihilated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead gets the same result as a devotee who is protected by the Lord. Both of them are transcendentally promoted. The only difference is that the devotee goes directly to the spiritual planets and becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord, whereas demons are promoted to Brahmaloka, the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. Both of them, however, are transcendentally promoted. The Lord's killing or annihilating the demons is not exactly like the killing of this material world. Although he appears to act within the modes of material nature, he is nirguna, above the modes of nature. His name is not material. Otherwise, how could one get liberation by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama? The names of the Lord, like Rama and Krishna, are not different from the person Rama and Krishna. Thus, by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one constantly associates with Rama and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore becomes liberated. A practical example is Ajamila, who always remains transcendental to his activities simply by chanting the name Narayana. If this is true of Ajamila, what is to be said of the Supreme Lord? When the Lord comes to this material world, he does not become a product of matter. This is confirmed throughout Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma chame divyam avajananti mamudam manushitanamashikam. Therefore, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rama or Krishna, descends to act transcendentally for our benefit, we should not consider him an ordinary human being. When the Lord comes, he does so on the basis of his spiritual potency. Sambhavam Yatmamayaya. Because he is not forced to come by the material energy. He is always transcendental. One should not consider the Supreme Lord an ordinary human being. Material names and forms are contaminated, but spiritual name and spiritual form are transcendental. Om Gyana Satyakadasya Granjana Shalakatmiritam Tasmai Shri Guru Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Namutale Swanupakaramatam Rati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhudeva Cha Paritanam Tanimyo Vaishnavigyo Namo Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swamini Srinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Punyavani Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome, everyone, for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Nice to see you all, and hopefully we'll see you more. More often. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. 8th canto. This is Gajendra's prayers to the Supreme Lord. It's very interesting that this verse, Shukadeva Goswami explains that that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, and faults. But at the same time, Krishna, who is transcendental, he creates material world. Why would Krishna, source of eternal existence, which is unlimited, why would he create something like material world? What's the purpose? So the purpose of material world is to give facility to living entities to enjoy temporary prosperity and happiness in this world, and eventually achieve liberation, come back to God. This is a totally different perspective from mundane attempt of explanation how the world why the world came about. And then explanation is that it's just a coincidence which happened at one point, because time is eternal. Time is going on. Even materialistic scientists, they acknowledge existence of time. So there was time, and there were very basic elements, or even no elements. But at one point, there were some elements. There was chemical evolution of ingredients, and then there was biological evolution. That's how things came about. And it went from that seed of existence and developed into what we have now. And basically what we have now is the best thing ever. And it looks like that so far this is the only civilized planet, according to them. Of course, there are some informations about UFOs, so they are not sure. Maybe they exist, maybe they don't. Things are not confirmed definitely by science. So human history developed from that chemical biological evolution, and there were some primitive people in Asia a couple of thousands of years ago, and now we have this modern civilization with technological achievements, science, and there was nothing better. Before, there was nothing better. Their understanding is that there was only one creation. Actually, they are focusing only on one creation. Most probably they were not thinking that maybe there were more creations, but this is what how they understand it. The purpose of the world, of the creation, has nothing to do with transcendence. It's basically us, chemicals, trying to find purpose, and everyone is allowed to do it for himself. Try to find some try to figure out some kind of ideas, some goals in life. And life is temporary, but what can be? So that's quite a depressing picture. While Vedic science presents not only divine origin, like some superhuman origin, but totally transcendental origin of the whole creation, of the whole total material world. So that's very interesting. I remember as a kid, there was this guy, I don't know where she's from, I think he's from Demican. Did anyone hear about a scientist called Demican? He was kind of archaeologist, anthropologist. So he was kind of well established in academic circles, but at one point he brought up he presented the idea that actually humans were planted on Earth by extraterrestrial civilization, some kind of, we can say, superhumans. They came with their spaceships or aircrafts, whatever. And I must say, even when I was a kid, I was thinking, this is totally crazy. So I remember my friend, he showed me, he was kind of a little bit into it. So he showed me the book, and there were a lot of photos in it. So this scientist was trying to explain that, just look at the shape of a mask. So it's a kind of, how do you call that? Like a dome, and there's a rocket next to it. That's how he interpreted. And what to speak of some African cultures, they also have some kind of folk clothes which they use in dancing and in their worship of whatever they are worshipping, which resembles like that, how do you call those clothes which astronauts wear? Spacesuits. So he kind of tried to collect different informations to prove, all these religions and beliefs, they do have some traces of, some kind of, it resembles like they're worshipping extraterrestrials who came by the ships, and that's how everything created. But of course, this scientist, he was presenting ideas according to his own speculation, and definitely he was rejected. He was rejected by scientific circles. Actually, it was ridiculous, but because he was like celebrity, so yeah, people. If somebody believes something, let him write a book, and this free country, free world, so everyone can present their own idea. So people who think that basically universe doesn't have a cause, and when something started happening, it's just by some inconceivable miracle, and they totally reject that the universe was constructed, or civilizations are constructed by some. Actually, they are both wrong from a Vedic perspective. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna clearly explains that source of creation is not just superhuman, it's actually transcendental. It's totally beyond man. It's spiritual. That word is kind of forbidden in scientific circles nowadays. They don't like that, because spirit you cannot measure. Spirit you cannot prove it. But there are so many things in science which also cannot be proved. So many things, just like this quantum physics. They are not, they are using language describing different phenomena, like nanoworld and this and that. But they they didn't take photo of that. So basically, it's like a big theory into which people get initiated, and it takes them like 2-3 couple of years just to be kind of indoctrinated into believing into that system and seeing the whole reality through the lens of that theory. So if you say to science, where are the proofs for quantum physics? So they will think that you don't know what you are talking. But actually, it's quite amazing that they are dealing with concepts and building up further and developing more and more theories about the universe, about creation, about destruction, about maintenance of the universe. They are dismissing transcendental source of creation, and especially even if there is transcendental source of creation, that source of creation is definitely not a person. And then we can see even in religious circles, some religious circles, or we can see that even if they do accept transcendental source of this world, they don't accept the fact that that transcendental source can come in a visible form and touch the earth with his feet, which means walk on the earth. That's like totally amazing. How is that possible? Why would God, if he exists, come to this world and walk on the earth? Well, we can see in the Vedic and tradition of Krishna consciousness, there are so many incarnations. Ete cham shakala pumsam, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Indradi Vyakulam Lokam, Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So it looks like that divine, transcendental, superhuman source of creation, he comes. And also there are so many evidences in the Vedic scriptures. Ramadimurti Shukalani Krishna. Also all these different forms like Rama, Krishna, Hayagriva, Varaha, Nrsimha. They all appear. And Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Yada Yada Hidadmasya, Glani Bhavati Bhavat. Whenever there is deviation in proper execution of Dharma, Krishna comes again and again and again and again. That's how things work. Here, that divine appearance of Krishna and other incarnations, they are described as Uru Rupa. Uru means great. Is that in Hindi also? Prabhu.
Not so much, Prabhu.
Not so much. You don't have word Uru. Okay. Uru Krama. That's also a famous name for Lord Vamanadev. Yeah. So Uru Rupa means possessing various forms as incarnations. It also means great, very powerful, influential. And that's exactly what Krishna does. He comes with his own spiritual potency, and he enacts pastimes in this world. That's quite amazing. And then it says that there are unlimited incarnations, like waves in the ocean. They are coming again and again. Okay. That's totally different perspective. We can see in scientific circles and a lot of, at least, Abrahamic religions like Islam and Christianity, they don't have a concept of universe which is full of life. Universe is more or less empty. There are some stars out there. Most probably there's nothing even there. And one of the stars is the moon, and moon is simply full of dust. That's what we get from scientific circles. And God is out there beyond, or maybe within, and we are here on planet Earth. And universe is empty and it's lifeless. And pretty much the only life is here, which started with Adam and Eve, and it's developed at one point. And in the future, it's going to be destroyed, and some people are going to be saved, and some people will go to hell eternally. And that was one creation, one destruction. It's never happened before, and it will never happen in the future. That's their understanding of reality. Yeah. So the supreme source of creation, he basically created something just for a second. It lasted for a couple of cosmic seconds, and then it got destroyed. And it looks like that the creator and controller didn't like his product, so he decided not to produce anything again. So that was once just a small kind of spark in the dark for a short while, and then it's, while Vedic understanding is totally opposite. First of all, time is influence of time is very often compared to the Kala chakra, to the wheel of time, which means history repeats over and over and over again. By history, we can also understand it means creation is happening. Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, Sadhana, Shakti, Rekha in Brahma Samhita. Creation, maintenance, and destruction is happening in a circle. Just like in a year, we can see that happen. Maybe not so much in California, but in Europe, you can see that more vividly. In winter, trees they don't have leaves, and it's cold, it's snow, it's freezing, and pretty much nature is like sleeping, and then it develops in spring, summer, even more, and then autumn, and then again winter. Everything is going in circles. Just so in this way, Vedic understanding is giving much more hope to people, because this concept of very short, there's only one life, one creation, one destruction, one salvation, or one, how do you call that, condemnation, just You are sent to hell once. That's it. There's no return. Plus, from our scriptures, we can understand that universe is full of life. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that one of the qualities of the soul is sarvagata. That does mean that one individual soul, like my buddies try to explain, there's only one Atma. So sarvagata doesn't mean that the soul is all pervading, but it means soul as a category. Just like when somebody is trying to describe a cow as a species, obviously he's thinking about all cows or most of the cows, but he will use a singular form of the word. So he'll talk cow is living like this, eating like that, sleeping like that, this going on, this her family life. But it means it's meant for all cows. So also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that soul is sarvagata. Sarvagata means it can go everywhere or it's present everywhere. It means soul as a category is present everywhere, which means every soul is present within the body. And its bodies are everywhere. Our concept of human body, how do we explain life, let's say, on this planet? We usually think, okay, life is happening in organisms. They do have some consciousness, they do have some urge to survive, and they need to drink water, they need to eat solid foods this way or that way, and they need to maintain their biological functions, and that's how they survive. And but there are different bodies, more powerful, less powerful, all around the universe. And this is what we get from the mixed scripture, that the universe is full of life, it's going through phases, it's being created, maintained, and destroyed. And the purpose is that souls which are eternal achieve liberation through spiritual practice, through worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears in different forms, like Rama, Krishna, just like it's described here. So I would like to stop here. Are there any questions? Can I get? It's 8. We can do some small question or comments, please.
Team Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Please accept my respectful obeisances. Thank you for the wonderful class. 2 comments. I think you were mentioning a scientist that had talked about how aliens had visited the Earth. That might be Eric von Daniken, Chariots of the Gods. I remember that was him.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, I actually owe a lot to him because I felt like he, kind of planted some seeds there as far as my journey is concerned. So, Jai Eric Von Anigan. And then another comment in regards to science. I heard something the other day. So you have the Earth globe, you have the Sun globe. 1 million Earth globes can fit inside the Sun. Now, if you were to take the Sun globe and reduce it to the size of a dot, like in an eye, the dot of an eye, the letter I. Now, if the sun globe is the size of a dot of the letter I, this Earth that we're sitting on would be the size of the Milky Way galaxy. So everything, the universe is so vast, and it's the most interesting thing for me is that I still think I'm the center of the universe, but I'm so insignificant. It's illusion. But thank you for the class.
Anything else?
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the theory that guy came up with, that aliens implanted humans and scientists rejected it.
Yeah.
But also the scientist theory of the Big Bang is also really outlandish and crazy. That
Yeah.
everything like advanced life, intelligence came from just some lump of matter, some explosion, and yeah, I was just looking at my phone, like, yeah, there's also like other theories about how the universe came about. So they actually don't know at all, like, the answers. And then
Yeah.
they're so quick to reject, what we tell them, things like that. So
Yeah.
any other explanation, they just reject it.
But also, in one sense, this then again, like when somebody relies on mental speculation, even when people speculate, most probably there are some parts or some percentages of truth in what they say. Just like even a broken watch or a clock is showing the correct time 2 times a day. Right? If you have a clock with how do you call it?
Hands.
With hands. If battery has run out or is pulled out, it's still showing proper time 2 times a day. We can understand that. But what we can also understand that we don't know when. So if you just rely on speculations of people who don't have maybe access or they can't accept transcendental source of knowledge, it's Krishna. Most probably they are right to some extent. So even in Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see that at least Kshatriyas on planet Earth and in India, there were 2 dynasties. One is Surya Vansha, the other one is Chandra Vansha. Is it Chandra or Soma Vansha? I think Soma.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's the synonym. So there are 2 dynasties. Krishna appeared in the dynasty of the Kshatriyas that come from moon or Soma or Chandra. And Lord Ramachandra, he appeared in the Surya Vansha or dynasty of Kshatriyas that come from the sun god. So there is, even in Vedic scriptures, there are references which it actually that creation comes from basically top to bottom instead of like modern science they are taking from bottom to top. So it's kind of very interesting. And also, at least for me, it was very kind of enlivening when Prabhupada, when I started reading Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada explained that it's not that God has human form, but actually humans are created according to image of God, which is also described in Bible. So it's also there.
Because some people like say like, oh, humans think God has a human form, and then the dogs, they would think that God has a dog form. So
yeah, when we say that Krishna was on earth and he was teaching Bhagavad Gita, they think, I think in Africa there was this Haile Selassie or something like that. He was like president of a state or a king, but his, what do you call that? His followers or residents of that state, they considered him to be God or something like Jesus. I don't. So when we say that Krishna actually existed and that he's God, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's God, they think, okay, that's your opinion. You're just thinking in this way. But they immediately tried to discredit that. That's why our goal is to establish that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Supreme Personality of Godhead is the source of all creation. But that may not be our first step in what we are trying to do. There are other steps, especially understanding the difference between the body and the self. And another step, exposing people to the transcendental vibration of Hare Krishna mantra, exposing people to Bhagavad Gita, take Bhagavad Gita, get purified. Most people, most probably, they have mundane conception about what Bhagavad Gita is, but at least they can appreciate the antiquity of it, wisdom, and gradually get purified. And gradually accept actually transcendental nature of Krishna's activities, transcendental nature of Krishna's name. Okay. Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great. Suvarna Bindu Prabhu ki jai.